Hello. Ebusiafo, ma wunyina akwaba. Transforming Ghana's agriculture. Launch of Operation Feed Ghana for feed security and prosperity. History is making. Transforming Ghana's agriculture. Launch of Operation Feed Ghana for food security and prosperity. Ene de nsɛm na ɛbɛka no, ɛmu odu yie papapa. Ebusuafo ɛmu odu yie, ɛfiri sɛ yɛne no yɛ asase no ɛne yɛabɔdeɛ ma yɛn. Mmogya na nananom hwie gu de to hɔ ma yɛn no. Ɛduru me wo ɛso sɛ yɛn nso yɛbɛyɛ de yɛbɛyɛ bi atoa so. Na sɛ yɛbɛtumi atoa so a, ɛwɔ sɛ me ne wo nyinaa yɛka bom sɛ ankonam ɛnyɛ yie. Me nko a ɛnyɛ yie. Na sɛ yɛka bom yɛ sɛ di a, ɛna ɔman Ghana yɛbɛtumi afa ne ntoma pa afira. Sɛ yɛsɛ a yɛnyina flag mmiɛnsa bi ase, just red, gold, green color. Near the black star, the hope of Africa too. Yɛtra yie, yɛwɔ the hope of Africa. Nti yɛwɔ sɛ yɛ man no, yɛyɛ the hope of Africa. Ɛma the whole Africa and entire Africa. Nene de mepɛ sɛ me ne wo kasa fa how a yɛbɛtumi transforming Ghana agriculture no through Operation Feed Ghana no. Na ɛno no ɛbɛtumi ɛde food security and prosperity. Na prosperity no ɛne yɛbɛkyɛ mu video no mu yɛ program yɛbɛkyɛ mu mmienu. Food importance and how to boost it and why we lack this thing no. Na yɛakɔ the prosperity. Nti from food no yɛde bɛkɔ prosperity. Na prosperity na mpɛ sɛ me ne wo gyina so ɛka asɛm kakra bi. Yɛwɔ mmoa mmienu bi. Baako yɛfrɛ no ntatea. Ana baako nso yɛfrɛ no aboa mpɛpɛ grasshopper. Da bia bɛhu aboa ntatea no, ɔmo to aso bebrebe. Ɔmo deɛ nso mede, ɔmo go for hunt for feeding. To ɔmo kɔ. Nti sɛ wohwɛ aboa ntatea a, weight na ɛwɔ so ɔfa no, ɛso. But ɛsiane sɛ ɔmo dɔɔso nti no, grass ntatea na atumi fa grass cutter yɛfrɛ no abɛbɛ yi. Akɛseɛ na ɛduru time bi am sɛ I think sɛ winter time na ɔmo ba. Ɔmo soso paa. Bo sɛ ntatea ntumi pagya bi na ɔmo de kɔ. Ɛfiri sɛ ɔmo yɛ dɛn? Ɔmo dɔɔso na ɔmo aka bom na ɔmo yɛ adwuma no. Ankonam ɛyɛ yie a ɛnyɛ yie. The same ntatea na no sɛ time no ɛyɛ the good season ni ba na ɛna ɔyɛ n'adwuma. Ɔprepare n'aduane. Wɔntena ase nka sɛ metwɛn kakra. But abɛbɛ deɛ da bia no nam ɛna ɔtutu sɛ ya just as a diving into the air na no. Na mepɛ sɛ metwe wo w'adwene ba ɔman Ghana ɛna Burkina Faso so. Before President Ibrahim Traoré eba no, nanka Burkina Faso ɛne Ghana yɛde yɛn toto ho a yɛka na sɛ potential, yɛka na sɛ media way na ɔmo no nanka Ghana ɔmo nuru yɛ. But the moment na ɔmo nya the visionaries ɛyɛ President Traoré ɛbaayɛ no, the vision a ɔwɔ no, enti ama Burkina Faso from below na ɔmo wɔ yaseɛ no, ɔmo aba bɛduru soro ɛna ɔmo twa yɛ. Enti ne yɛde Burkina Faso yɛ mfato ho. But yɛyɛ refi sɛ all this thing nyinaa no ɛyɛ nneɛma mmiɛnsa. Food security, holding on to their agriculture ɔmo culture, and ɔmo self-conscious. Na mepɛ sɛ meyi food security ne no kasa bio. Ɛfiri sɛ yɛkɔ western world a, na yɛkɔ world market a world economy a, adeɛ a yɛtaa use de measure obiara mmɔden a ɔbɔ wɔ wiase no ne sɛ gold reserve, sika kɔkɔɔ yi. Nti wokɔ UK a, ɛnaano bi video bi baeɛ na ɔmo kɔ kavoo mu na ɔmo kyerɛ the gold reserve a UK wɔ ne national bank hɔ. Wohunu a woyam bɛhyɛ wo. Yɛka ne dodo a woanhwɛ koraa wobɛtwa ahwɛ. Ɛno nti that gold reserve no nti no, UK ɛwɔ power. The same yɛkɔ US saa, the same yɛkɔ Canada saa, yɛkɔ China saa, yɛkɔ European countries na saa. Na mepɛ sɛ me ne wo yɛ debu sɛ yɛn ho sɛ gold no ampaniampa anyɛ Ghana ne other countries na ɔmo tu firi. Diamond no ɛnyɛ Ghana ne other countries na ɔmo tu firi. Na afei adɛn nti na yɛn ne yɛwɔ no, yɛka the reserve no a yɛn ne yɛwɔ ne titiri nyɛ yɛn ne yɛwɔ, but na yɛ economy no ayɛ ɛyi saa, ayɛ fragile saa. Ɛfiri sɛ yɛwɔ gold no, but ne value chain no yɛnni nkora yɛ. Mepɛ sɛ yɛgyina metwe adwene ba asɛm a the CEO of Alibaba ogyina so kan biribi. Na saa asɛm no wo readi na woantie ni na woanwene ho yie a, wobɛka sɛ ebia sɛbie so wɔdi some ethnic group bi atɛm. Because o say sɛ wodi kwadu ɛma sɛbie so aboa monkey a, na wodi sika ɛma na ɛto wɔ ka ho a, aboa monkey sɛbie so obɛyiyi ɛyi no kwadu no na wɔgye sika hɔ. Ade ntira ɛfiri sɛ aboa monkey wɔ hɔ no sɛbie so anidiem na mesrɛ m kasa no, onim sɛ kwadu ne deɛ n'aduane a wɔdi ano no, nti ɛno na ɔbɛyɛ deɛ ɔbɛfa. Ɛno na ɛsom bo ma no. But wɔnim sɛ sika na ɛka ɛda hɔ no so no, saa sika no ɛbɛtumi atɔ kwadu more than that for so many days or years mpo. Saa na sɛbie so yɛman Ghana ɛyɛ akɔyɛ sesei. Yɛwɔ reserve bebrebee. Yɛka gold, diamond, minerals, bauxite no, yɛka timber, any all these things na yɛwɔ bebrebee. Na mpɛ sɛ yɛba food no so. Launching of Operation Feed Ghana na President Mahama de baeɛ no, ɛnɛ no, ɛnyɛ biribiara sɛ yɛtumi gyina na yɛtumi ɛso yɛkuya yɛ mu a, na yɛtumi nya reserve of food a, ɛno nko ara no, ɛtumi change Ghana history. Ɛtumi change Ghana position. Ade ntira. Ɛfiri sɛ wote hɔ na sɛ wofa sika firi Ghana ɛde kɔ Togo ɛna akɔkra gyene ɛna de aba bɛdi. Within African koraa deɛ wonni problem kɛse because asɛ de yɛninim yɛn ho nti no. Na sɛ wokɔfa ntoosi ti tomatoes firi China de aba, wokɔfa grains ɛde firi some Russia ne ade aba, meaning sɛ saa grains ne bro ne ade na akɔfa millet mu saa nneɛma na akɔfa firi waba no, wo depende wɔ mo. And the thing is, who feed you no controls you. And the worst part is say, if you don't create your own economy by design, someone else will create it for you by default. yɛhwɛ ama obi na abɛdi yɛ so wɔ nnuane mu, yɛ sikasɛm mu, ɛne yɛ biribiara mu. Yɛ tumi no afiri yɛn nsa. Ɛfiri sɛ yɛda afoforɔ. Da biara no, yɛaduanesɛm no yɛda afoforɔ. Nti nnɛ sɛ yɛka sɛ obi ka sɛ ɔto ne bɔda mu a, na yɛ ho hyehyeɛ. Why? The first question nnɛ mepɛ sɛ mbusa yɛn nyinaa yɛn ho no. Ɛno nti na mepɛ sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛhyia na yɛbɛkasa fa Operation Feed Ghana ho. Maama for political reason nti, meba for Ghana mmerɛ a ɛyɛ ho. Ɔman Ghana na de yie a ne ntoma pa a ɔde bɛfɛfrɛ. Momma yɛnsom na ɛbɛyɛ yie. Sɛ wogye di a, ka me ho, bɛka yɛn ho. Me deɛ mewɔ gyidi. Na I have a dream. Say the day will come a wobɛka sɛ yɛkae. Deɛ hia sɛ yɛbɛdɛ, yɛbɛte yɛn ho ase. Deɛ hia sɛ yɛbɛdɛ, yɛbɛgye adi sɛ ɛbɛyɛ yie na yɛbɛwork towards it with a good intention, bold, brave. No one is going to build Ghana for us to enjoy. Sɛ yɛn no yɛanhwɛ ambede yɛ full security na prosperity gain no ɛbɛyɛ den. Ɛfiri sɛ sika a yɛkra usually kra nneɛma firi outside no, saa sika no sɛ ka ɔman no mu no a ɛhɔ na prosperity ne wɔ no. Ɛnnɛ yɛn nuabaa Maame Victoria wo a wonhwɛ me ne no interview no kɔkɔhwɛ. From US waba bɛdi fast food joint. Yɛsi ne Boampɔn wɔyɛ pastries. Yɛ brother baako Nana Kwame ɔyɛ restaurant. Obi yɛ Mr. Manu ɛyɛ mpɔnkyɛn. Mr. Andrews yɛ catfish. Pastor Kwame so yɛ dɛ ɔyɛ mmerɛ. All these things no ɛdeɛ na kyerɛ sɛ yɛtumi ɛka yɛn ho bom sɛdeɛ ntentan wɔ hɔ no a ntentan ɛfiri soro na ɛkɔ baabia ne wɔ a ɛnconnect within the no. Sɛ yɛtumi ka yɛn ho bom ne yɛ saa deɛ no a, I tell you, China ma obi ne hɔ bɛbiti yɛ. Market on the wall. Sɛ yɛtumi ka yɛn ho bom te sɛ ntentan ɛwɔ hɔ yɛ a, China ma obi ne hɔ bɛti yɛ. Because sɛ me kuradeɛ na me wɔ Sampa, from Sampa no mɛtumi de ama ne car na yɛde akɔma obi foforɔ. Ɛnɛ mepɛ sɛ me ne wobɛka Operation Feed Ghana deɛ nti ɛda makoma so ne sɛ loopholes bi wɔ mu a sɛ me ne wo mmienu yɛtumi take that loopholes no a me nko a mentumi nyɛ. Ɛno nti na yɛn nyinaa wɔ sɛ yɛka yɛn wɔ mu no. Loopholes no ɛnso so yɛ opportunities. The loopholes na side na ama Operation Feed Ghana nkɔ so no. Ɛno nso no opportunities a me ne wo mmienu no yɛhu no ɛnɛ ɛwɔ Ghana economy no mu. Ɛno nti na me ma wakɔ aba. Sɛ no first time a subscribe my SOS. Just to help us. Like video no. Na share ma afoforo nso so. Di ho adanse. Yenye political party ayi bia. Na ye de ne say political party no a system we can regret it. But see who how you betime deal with political party and as a political system no then and also so na betime travel. Ghana ain't mean support to try to survive. we need to thrive. Sorry. Mr. Pamford Mpachamo Wakwaba. Hello, Penny, Mr. Pamford Mpachamo Wakwaba. Mr. Pamford Mpachamo. Okay. Yeah, chair Mr. Pamford, no. Say you call list ya ekura me so a tama ye minister ekasa na omolanche ene day program no. Unfortunately, bibi nti na mama ntimi anhwe antimi amfollow. But ni omo beka no any research ye wo ho since 1972 up to now no ye difference bi anim kese. Eno nti no me pese ye ka me de linkini to because ena ye nyina de ye badwene ho. Ghana no enye ayi ankranko adea. Ye nyina nti obia me stress obia ma kire na adwene. Obia ma kire na adwene because de wo betimi aye no eno so de me so betimi aye ne kabo mu a ana eto aso. Nti me stress obia ma kire na adwene na ye hu se di sitie. Na ye kasa na me kan bibi ti for say full storage. Na full storage wono na me pese ene dey. Ye gina so for the first thing no, the importance of food. The importance of food. Now, the importance of food, no, so itimi hu the importance of food na. On say enano mi so make asem bi. Em say oko master wu ibisa na o kan say so we obi o say srade a ye dey jai. And the straight the bebrebe na mbwa. It the same from individual no eteni to a country, a nation. Inti tama
Okay.
Mr. Pamford Rotemika.
Bacho chonka.
Okay. Yeah. Remember. Yo, Mr. Henry, Nyamisha say, or mama nya aware no. And inti tama na me hwe na me nya information but ma me anya you know me das pa. Watching yampa Eden but me try say me follow you know whatever it is na me nya update so free mo. Na mpanimfo Mr. Pamford no me wakwaba kafra sorry.
Yeah, me just ini.
Mr. Pamford, and then Nanka was saying, you follow me, no name is our first in your Nanka say you follow Operation Feed Gun and Nanka ready your president Becca.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
who are many water didn't come on, they wouldn't say, me, I'm a two no. And yet, per se, say, government, you know, Eddie Ban name it, they say, Nemo, idea Dama come as name and agent say, one the moment now, government, they bet to us, you know, a create awareness. Adintra because enemy bo ho na yem fire dwene nkoso. It is the moment near they odi beto ho sa no accredit awareness inte basa na se government no kura na wanka wa ma direction to you as an individual. Enti se obi a kire wo say aha ko ho na sika no na obenya bia. Then it's up to you so one as an individual no be dey obenante no akọ. Enti so obi kire wo ba bia sika kokọ wo na o se kọ ne kofa. Na se wan kofa don't bring that person later. Enti say government abe lunch so on lunch so o kasa wi a wo mo nya hwe se de da bia nyina anim no o mo promise but no ma feri no. As for this one whatever it is I believe in it because a idea eno na ye hwe ena wo printing so ho food print ya se wo man ho kwan a obetime di so eno na President Ibrahim Traore ede waseti ato won. Yesi de odi nkan no, de odi akire ni esua de odi nkan na mo. Enti that's why me what a personal belief say me ni as a party ase echi na emom the three people now omo aka operation free Ghana right now no anye me kra no the deputy minister no the way you see who agriculture in city no so to me 20% ewo say you see who agriculture in city na we are okay the no is up to you enemy see about day ye be my government economy na the ako now I'm telling you say it me set even 20% of food storage in Ghana we won't see economy in be booming e be change completely. Mr. Ferris,
All
me more
right.
about more baba.
Yeah, Mr. Charles Major, so I promise to say,
Mpatcho nyame adom boko na bacho nso e.
yeah, me had more, be out here, damn, yes.
Yeah, sir. Mr. Pamford, ye beshke din
Yes,
keko
sir.
yo. Ye ka operation
Okay.
figure na me no. I said I am a yinti no. Ma hwe me kasa sa na afei wo kasa do nso na
Oh,
ya.
oh, okay.
Transforming Ghana's agriculture, launch of Operation Feed Ghana. You said they are 12 April. I am a me update this year or senior headache. Idea yi na opese wo ne ye kan because ye na me pese ye kasa fa food and prosperity but ye nhwa say free food you know
Okay.
why is it so important.
Mr. Pamford,
Okay.
Michelle,
Major also Mr. Felix Mbacha Ohoye.
yeah, me had more,
Then go once. Ansa no. Yɛbɛhwɛ ɔman biara sɛ ebetumi agyina ne nan so a, yɛ a na egyina ɔman no, ɔman ahoɔden a ɔmo wɔ. So, na Nyankopɔn de wansane kɔdua wura mu, wansane wi wura. Ɔde kraman bedua fie. Aduane a nnipa die no, ɛno bi na kraman di. Da abom sɛ kraman wi wura a, na kyerɛ sɛ kraman yare. Nti na wɔyɛ dɛn? Wɔwe wura. Eh, Ɔde aboa biara sɛdeɛ odidie ne baabi a ɔde no yɛɛ dɛn, ɔde no duaeɛ. Adwene ntumi ndidi wɔ kokoo so nti, ɔde no duaa nsuo mu. Ɛna mpanyin nso sɛ incase sɛ wobɛma akyekyedeɛ biribi a, yɛmfa nto soro. Yɛde to fam. Esiane sɛ akyekyedeɛ no a wontumi nyɛ dɛn, wontumi mforo soro. Nti ba na aduanesɛm ho a, ɛyɛ adeɛ a ɛyɛ sɛ ɔman biara ma n'aduane especially deɛ ɔba bɛtooyɛ ɔma ho nhia no. Esiane sɛ da biara na me maame ka asɛm bi. Ɔsɛ aduane a wɔmmɛto no wo maame bokyea so no, ɛyɛ akyiwadeɛ. Na me ne wo mmienu nyinaa bɛdi adanseɛ sɛ ampa nso sɛ ɛfiri sɛ yɛwoo wo bɛduru saa mmere yi no, aduane a yɛantaa nyɛ bi wɔ fie amoa nnipa no wopie abɔnten no wobia bi koraa ɛnyɛ w'akɔnnɔ. Nti nnuane a yɛdi no wɔ ha as ɔman ɛyɛ aburow, bankye, mankan, borɔdeɛ, ayoyo ne saa nneɛma no a ɛkeka ho no, ɛtwa sɛ yɛma yɛadwene di kan kɔɔ ɛno so. Na da biara meka sɛ yɛadwene bɛkɔ ɛno so a, agye kuradwuma. Na kuradwuma no nso, ɛno a na mɛka kyerɛ yɛn nua baako firi Mampɔn ɛbaa me ha. Na mɛka kyerɛ no sɛ kuradwuma no, ɛno ne ɔman no daakye. Ɛno ne ɔman no. Kuradwuma no, ɛno ne ɔman no daakye. Ɛno na ɛyɛ ɔman no anidasoɔ. Ɛno na ɛyɛ ɔman no akyi kasɛɛ. Ɛfiri tititi nyinaa saa na ɛteɛ. Enti sɛ yɛn nnuanesɛm ho behia yɛn na sɛ aban ahu sɛ nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ a yɛhyehyɛ to hɔ a ɛbɛtumi aboa a, ɛnni kwan sɛ wɔn adwene kɔ food storage no nko ara so. Na mmom, aduane no ɛfiri he na ɛba? Ɛfiri mfuom na ɛba. How are we going to empower the various households? I mean the farmers, the stakeholders. How are we going to empower them so that they can produce more than they produce now? Or so that they can produce more? How? are we going to empower them? So, enti nyɛ sɛ yɛaka no traa.
Zabako, do tumi to aso.
Okay. Enti nyɛ sɛ bi a yɛaka no traa na yɛka too hɔ traa no na yɛyɛ dɛn na yɛkɔ. Daabi. Na mmom, we have to look for what it takes to empower saa agenda na yɛde abɛso na ama ɛsi slogan, because yɛn nyinaa we know say the previous government said you can yɛ politics. The previous government launching PFG, granting for food and jobs. When they started ye, but ye, simply because mechanism says you put it in place. Na etime boa ɛma you can say ye nneɛma a yɛdua no biribi atumi totɔ no kwan mu anaasɛ nhyehyɛeɛ a wɔde gu hɔ no yɛtumi di so no yɛanyɛ. Na ya na obi bɛka sɛ saa de wei ɛyɛ den nanso nyɛ den. Hwɛ woba Ghana ha, Ghana as ɔman yɛni kookoofoɔ. Ghana as ɔman yɛni kookoofoɔ a yɛte kɔ adwaman so. Ɛyɛ the various farmers yɛ a yɛfrɛ wɔn the peasant farmers ne adeade no. Wɔn a na ɛtete kookoo no na through cocoa board yɛ organize cocoa no nyinaa ɛne private buyers na akɔfa cocoa board na ayɛ dɛ akɔ. The government can set up those institutions in terms of crops system, that is the perennial crops and our cash crops and our we know government in between us asset that mechanism. Yeah, maybe a call could be a maku. In say maku 1 kilo, you say. Me have also we could do antus. Minim say the maku more dramatic. Minim say the entos more dramatic. I will choose one. But wait, the chase a queenina, the tip and pim. Wash the affinity a bit me a cock and son why they or cock could be. Almost was the council so almost so by into farming, so they are also thinking about export. Whilst I didn't feed ye fear for your day. In we in the banning you and the seminar who they are a idea very, very important as a government man and yet I mean any cost to say the mechanism as a government a lunch with the any one mechanism with it in their empower farmers and your farmers cry name say you preaching feed Ghana there. Maybe a could you mock to fear. Sanya adoa ne saa mako ne adeɛ no ebi bɛba me atumi anya bi excess na yɛade yɛtumi astɔɔ na mpo yɛde bi ama aman a yɛde atwa yɛn ho ahyia. Nti they should lay down mechanisms ma ɔmo ma ne mɛyɛ just a mere political talk anaasɛ just a mere slogan. Na ɛba saa megye di sɛ ebetumi aboa ɔman no ama yɛtumi atu mpɔn ɛwɔ yɛaduane sɛm mu ne apɔmuden sɛm mu nti mede m'ano bɛsi ha nsa.
Yo, senior, me da se. Nyame nhyira wo. Mr. Ferris.
Mr. Charles.
Pacho, ansa me mo akasa no, mesrɛ sɛ abusuafoɔ ayerefie kakra. Yɛnka wo sɛ ahyɛase na nanka mekae obi biara. Mesrɛ wo wohwɛ aseɛ hɔ a sɛ ne no first time a yɛyɛ adom na yɛyɛ mmoa na subscribe sɛsie. Ɔn sɛ aseɛ hɔ no yɛatwerɛ sɛ subscribe. Ɛhɔ no mesrɛ sɛ mmea so sɛsie ma me mpakyɛ wada. Na nkyɛn hɔ nso no wɔ sɛ like. Ne like. Why? Wowie a your comment section so comment my Mr. Wada saa nneɛma wo nyinaa yɛ nneɛma bi a YouTube ɛna mo so ɛde etimi promote channel ti Mr. yɛ adom na boa yɛ na your videos bebrebe hɔ the latest cry ne sister Victoria a yɛ ne yɛ ɛyɛ powerful pa business opportunities wo but sɛ wantie a wohunu nti mesrɛ so biara de ɔnhwɛ bia no nkɔnkɔhwɛ saa video no medam ase Mr. Ferris transforming Ghana's agriculture, launch of Operation Feed Ghana na nyame adoma ya postpone ko ochenya mpa no. Ene de me say ye twi adwene ko food and prosperity. Na before say be prosperity no, say ekom de obi a woni ne ka sika sem enye yie. Enti me be say ye hu wo cheche the food and the importance of it, for the nation and for the individuals and my impacho. Me that say.
Yo, let me just say, Mr. Charles, me chill be so I was so out here. I mean, ensure be Mr. Pamford, wakasa, I'm say wabu boss so kanga kra na as time goes on, no, you be fan point by point na ya cheche me pa. Mr. Pamford the Casano or Shasifi, food. Unse Osha economy be he made mention of it. Food here, let me say it is the fuel that powers every economy. So Osha, the economy of the world, every country be no, their focus is to how our move to me sustaining food. Because so we are country, not say you are not food secured, your workforce diminish, your productivity of every sector goes down. Because say adia china nipa ni ndidi ya ontumi mbe adwuma. So oko doctor oko hospital was 7 duane. So oko government or friend adwuma was 7 duane. We have school feeding program. Oko schools was 7 duane. Yeah, call your friend then individual homes so are 7 duane. So you realize say aduane ya dibia we cannot do without. So obie here from infant all the way to the adult, obie here aduane. And that is what powers every economy. Into no country be omo enye very serious about their food security. No. You realize they spend a lot of money importing food into the country. So into food they are very, very important. But nyame say me stress on. We don't just think about food. We think about food system. So over US how more what they call US food system. You don't think about say adiachi no akope anywhere. No, you don't think about that. You think about all the factors, all the in the food production process. So and how can we support all these players to make sure say the economy and as a people within your country are food secure. It meet minister I don't know can be a friend in backyard gardening, how to support individuals to grow their own food. That is part of the food system. Urban gardening, community garden. That is also part of the food system. So and then commercial food production, and also a part of the food system. So and not just the production aspect of it, but okay, how do we address post-harvest? How do we address processing? How do we address distribution? As a matter of fact, Sir Utie near FAO, is it Food and Agriculture Organization? Sir Utie Munyomokan, they say, sir, uh, there is enough food to feed everyone in the world, but the problem is more related to distribution. So, how do we make sure, sir, everybody, regardless of your geographical location, you have access to food? You have you have food that is affordable. You have food that is more nutritious, not just any food at all, but food that can also sustain the body functioning. So contains all the nutrients that you need to survive. Internet day very, very essential, very, very essential in every sector of the economy. When you take food out of an economy, eventually the economy is going to collapse. Minister no proposals or and in some more effort the way almost person almost set it up now a food production. I feel say a very good, but as to how they are going to implement those things is what the problem is. As a matter of fact, in some of the Nano, it has been implemented before. It was there in the olden times. So food was something that wasn't a problem when they were in the olden times. No more what they call the food distribution something. Every day, piano, if you go to the food distribution centers, you get a lot of food, and those things no na boa, no, you have food in the system. But now, no, I don't know where those things went. It's in your minister, no, all can any proposals or Modiaba. The template is already there. So people have done it before. The country Ghana itself have done it before. The problem that we have is its implementation and sustainability. Omoshe Bibiase, it doesn't sustain itself. And then the next 1-2 years, we don't hear it again and it collapses. That is the problem that we are facing in the country. They don't just come out and say anything. They have to have a template. They have to have a plan as to how they are going to accomplish whatever they are talking about. And those things, they are not vacuum. They are there. Those things are there. If you look at the Western world, even in Africa, certain part of Africa, even in Ghana itself, those templates are there. People are doing it. People are setting up a lot of backyard gardening. Facebook, we have backyard garden organizations, backyard garden group. People are doing it. So, but how can the government help those individuals to not just to a point, but to sustain itself for a longer period? That is what we have to start talking about. Into the food needed to be frank, a year every sector, everyone. But when it comes to the profitability now, and the basic now, we'll go into that and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Okay, senior, me that say okay no o say template in the order that in fact tama minister kasa kwa no be say o say ho kuto champo na de bae but o mobile no my changes kakra any niema yeah, we don't need a particular idea. We can take the old one no na ya polish ho and no betimi aye okay. But say you call the olden days, the main operation feed yourself now, yes, was a turning to operation feed Ghana now. You loopholes, and no be na me pese, yes, and Tibusian for Mpachamuti, ye de Bako Babato because ye can food in it, and Obian tre so type or so keep no mind and sooner a year. One of your problem, na ye will be better say, Adia no ntiama ntimi anye sustainable, ntimi anye durable no. Economic pressures, both international and domestic pressure, infrastructure and logistical shortcomings, planning and mismanagement, environmental and natural factors. And the most, and me the question be better, but man, to me, nyamre and train ye in Tinem Sebia, ye senior Baku, senior Jonas, maybe I will be a mature. Was say, question the answers you. There a man to one say, bet me a portion as I be. Transitional and culture basic. Sorry, culture barriers. Because your colonial system na still na no enso ho a emu wo hye o se okwo obi hyefu a eja no obeduru ade bechen no still unemu abosi bebi ho ne mu wo hye anaso obeduru bebi na enwusie firim kakra eja na dumo but still na bosi dua bi wo na edua no egya wom kakra na eyi mu sie kakra saa na ayɛ wɔ colonial system na ayɛ wɔ Ghana sese wɔmokɔ ɛna mpanimfoɔ bu baabi sɛ akɔsikɔ wɔsi kɔsikɔ na sɛ ɔkɔ nso na ogyina kwan nti to physical yi ni deɛ wɔmokɔ but behind the scene no ɔmo nkɔɛ ɔmo gyina kwan nti ɛna ɔmo hwɛ yɛn nti saa egya na ɛhyɛeɛ no saa egya na ɛhyɛeɛ no still na no enwusie firi mu ba nti saa all these things no yɛ challenges a former operation feed yourself no efesi yɛ ɛno nso so na mene obi no pɛ sɛ yɛtena ase ne yɛdwene ho sesei because ɛno na de yɛ sika ɛbɛba because sɛ wopɛ sɛ wonya sika a ɛwɔ sɛ wo solve other people problems because once solve other people problems na wopɛ sɛ wonya sika wo de ɔdan sɛ wo kura de wopɛ sɛ automan by force wa ɛnyɛ yie because ade na wopɛ sɛ automan that particular individual ebi nya no hia that moment no sɛ kɔm de obi a wontimi ntɔn gold watch ma no because gold watch no mfa ni di nya fra nya hwee but man bibi ndi na ne ho ntɔ no wo de gold watch ma na ɛbɛyɛ na ho nya de ama no I don't know sɛ me moti masia mo ma me ho no comment section no simpacho eti Mr. Felix and Mr. Pamford no more can be food no me be say ye di adwene ba ye local production this particular thing no whereby Ghana ye suffer a year that particular year no years back in 1970s no economical pressure ye suffer a year if they say your food be to say rice maize cassava and until the busuafo ne ampa next week mo bi amexe me pese ye cassava topic no and me dia beto ho no don't mix it cassava unlocking its importance and maximizing the value added chain till next week mo ma ye nyina nsa mehia because all these things now operation feed Ghana face here no me pese yetimi pagya no one by one na ye go ahead na ye hwemu yie se de be ya igina we so a ye betimi ayede ye be pass from survival mode na Ghana one to the thriving because edu be na me chere bia no bi ntiase last I think 2 days me chere survivor or thriving okay enti Mr. Pamford una wo there how can we boost our local production Mr. Pamford okay
But mami some few minutes. Baby, I'm not meant to be in casa.
Mate, okay, don't worry.
It does. To call
No
Mr. Felix.
Mr.
All
Felix.
right.
Yeah, Mr. Charles.
Oh, but you bet me kasa.
Yeah, making me akasa.
Okay, you me that say. Na o kasa na o kasa government o say o ye template ni niama. Na ni nyina agina that loopholes na anti miama operation feed yourself no that last time in 1972 na ankoso no. Eno ana obia obeba obehye bia no won focus o sa niama yi ho. Obi aba no abeka but omo anko hede bebia na ntokro dida na nti omo hwe nso gu mu na epiepie no na nso ntimi enhye nyina mu no ha nti one thing is we be say me busa say how can we boost our local productions na local productions no I mean rice maize cassava millet all these things me pacho to you know how can we boost it because when you're one of the loopholes
Right. Very important question. Very, very important question. But my main can be bigger grandson. My basa question is so Osha country as a whole, Ghana Ghana as a whole. Those staple foods, no,
Mhm.
our hope. So if we are
Mhm.
able to boost it, economy no, akuneni.
Mhm.
However, we also want to understand, sir. We also want to understand, sir, and yet only the local food, I was say, you concentrate on
Ate afa so.
because because the foreigners back country no
Mhm.
uh also okay,
Mhm.
some of them also want to enjoy their own food from their countries.
Yeah,
How can they
particularly
get
China.
access to that? China, for example,
Yeah.
there are some China Asian vegetables. Yeah, they like it, and they will buy it. How do we make sure, say, we are targeting that market as well, not just focusing on what we know, because the food system has changed. It is not as before. It is not as before. The world is going forward. Things are changing. So we also want to diversify some of the things that we do if we really want to make profit. Yes, we have to concentrate on staple food, rice, maize, millet, wheat, those kind of things, because those ones they are there. Oko market ebu nipa bebree edua so but the problem that sector no post harvest losses and how to friend store those the excess one in terms of bumper harvest. How do we make sure say yes solve that problem? So what shall those time in the 80s, in 70s, 80s, now we have, I think, say every district here was silos. if
Yeah.
if not
Yeah.
every district or every region, they have silos, and those
Yeah.
silos were constructed for that purpose. Send ever store grains into at the time yeah bumper harvest and I say what harvest will corner over will dry now we save it for the next for the dry season where it's scarce no more releasing to the market. If those silos were there, ask yourself, what are those silos?
Baako
So
right now, minim sɛ baako wɔ Mampɔn for maize and grains,
what about the other regions?
ɛno deɛ menyi ɛyi biara update biara wɔ hɔ.
Aha. So so be dua corn ebro ɛwɔ central region or the beba mampon abe store ana. So
Mhm.
we they have to go back to that template. It was there before. How did they do it? How was it successful? They just have to go back and make sure say those things they bring it back. As a matter of fact, who call the Western world they invest a lot of money in silos, very
Yeah.
huge ones, very
Yeah.
very huge ones.
Yeah.
So very, very huge ones. We always complain, sir, a bro thing, we thing. But we don't save it, we don't store it. So that's what I'm gonna say. It's everybody said I'm not going yet. So but we dream bro be na say wait to me a save it, now what when the price goes up a little bit, then you release it to the marketer. You also make a lot of profit. But because of say you need storage facility, we just the farmers are at the mercy of the middleman. Price you no mind there or more James. So it is the government, a looking in bringing sustainability in the farming system or in the food system. The main thing me person can be focus on more, especially on the grain side. On the grain side, is finding a way to prevent waste. So during the bumper harvest, finding a way to store produce. So be investing silos are I think if every district can have even one silo, I think say ebabua pa. And I say two silos for different grains I think say ebabua pa. That is one thing I made there and more importantly Senator American, their food system has changed. Whether we like it or not, it has changed. We are not just going to concentrate on our local produce. Okay, the world is dynamic, it's changing. So, my friend say if you want to diverse your crop, growing something like Asian crops, other type of crops are those who are coming into the country and will be familiar with that. How do you also process those? How do you package it? How do you make sure say those market is captured? Those are the things I will say we farmer no we invest in. But one thing we haven't also what do you call it? We haven't also thought of. Who say government in the cancer same way now. So government in the cancer same way now. But the question I will say is I don't say, do they even have budget for that? Have they do they have a or more pilot program? Or more pilot program or more how sustainable that is. Meeting any other two honor. One of I was very happy when the minister was talking about, say Ubia Bibia Bibika cry onifie and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. That is one way you able to me and make sure say the food industry is sustained. So but the question is, how are we going to do that? Is there a pilot program? Is there a pilot program? Able to me abua say you're concentrating on urban areas. Sakra, Kumasi, Sakra, for example, in urban areas, will be in a apartment. How is that person going to do it? Is there a way a nipa no betumi ayɛ ana or backyard kakra or one balcony kakra? How are you going to pilot that program? So Nina no I will say it go into the system. So, how are you even going to start it? Are you going to select a few people to try it, whether it is going to be sustainable? And what data are you going to retrieve to make sure, say, it is going to be viable? So, what type of crop are those individuals going to grow? What kind of incentives are we going to give to those people? You don't just say it and expect people to do it. It's not going to happen. You don't just come and say whatever you want to say, and then you sit down and expect people to jump into it and do it. It is not never going to happen. You have to have a program. You have to have a pilot program. So our ABR, we are targeting 100 homes. We are targeting 200 homes. These 200 homes, we are going to constantly visit them. ABR, we're training our friend, we're training agriculturists, be an asset extension officers, be on them monitor, we take data, type of crop they are growing, the amount of money they are getting out of it, how much surplus they are selling to the community. You have to get all those information and make sure, say, I don't know, now say we the tires are. How will you know say it is viable? So those are the things that also government, usher sina or put to things in order. He has to try and involve people who know what agriculture is all about, how to evaluate and monitor programs. Those people has to be involved in whatever they are doing. Because let me be frank, Jane or friend, then minister, deputy minister of agriculture. As a matter of fact, he has no idea about what agriculture is. He learned through the process. He doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't even have a degree in agriculture. He has not. He
Oh no,
doesn't.
or for passion.
Or remove for passion.
Yeah,
So
or no kind or
or
say
remove for passion.
passion.
But when very good. So or passion, you have to gain knowledge to drive your passion. So but our knowledge in that. So and those are the individuals I would say those with a passion no or more tap into normally push your more passion no. The minister and the group, the ministerial agricultural ministerial group, they have a lot of work to do if they really want to make sure say what they are talking about becomes something viable. they really have a lot of work to do. They don't just have to sit down and expect things to happen. And that is the problem. My observe you Ghana. You beg a na young Crawford there. So and then at a certain point in time, we really don't see what is going on. The youth in agriculture, and up to now we can't validate the number of youth that they were able to employ and those kind of things. And these are the pieces I would say government in Otako and I feel say but that's
Yo, senior, so yeah, that's senior Mishra, ne also o suggestion out there, now, not for defending, and I say, one fact here, or can yeah, but me call olden days now, you use all the whole Ghana community, time of more launch in 1972, you use all the youth in no more involved, but it do be no a take because of the challenges now, make us say, my listen, now, we know one thing omo can say, or say, omo involve prisons. All the prison, institute ni nyina. Na ba ade ba ko a this thing no betima aboa me pa me pese me gina so ma ye ka se omutimi hyemu edi mu no kredi a ene say could you believe say me name is apart for the din komo last year ni ye ka bi okay say senior se wo wasase bia na pese o prepare the correct time also prepare for the farming season enye February enye March Nemo November, December. Wo prepare wo land na saa time no December wo do asase a saa time no wo workers ebu so wo bi epadwuma ye because bro nyeba. They say wo kodo 1 acre kra na easy so benya worker amna kodo. But so wo twen say February na pese kodo a adabraka March kra de ne na yeka. Ayedeja. Enei ye nua ba akọ 10 acres your person done. One person be issue tractor. Men can how many days here after kino a still run won't mean room half cry. Omudi scanner and there or china because omunim say one for more for a form to be a but it's sankate me release Ghana in a all the prison city no na ye cast prison for koye juma abra enkoye eketa ahyesem bia na senka omu nyina betimi aba beboaboa nkrankra farmers no mu hia saa na workers so no be adwuma na nkenu eno so one of the biggest challenge here you no idira me pese me dey we chiro say omo ade abade but e bia no ma adwene on say entira me ka say e wo say nyina ye get involved meaning say me metena ka say government nya ansa maye me de but ono di na adwene ba so na obi foforo to na no wonte ase no obeti ase enti ema eye bibi ye easy kakra mechanism it is said the wash say first year wo de to second year na car na tu awi enti wo de to second year na easy but so fiti preko pe na wo de year na to second na utu a wo se car ni bubo ni mu enti I think to my own understanding ye hwe de ochinya mpon beka na yen trans ni ensan hwe se de omo kan no ene de o se ye o kan no so no bobra from there ye betimi ayi but as an individual no as my humble suggestion the mama men trans nka say government is or the way bent ye twen no de also do fundo de opeso yi biaye se moane ba hallelujah ama let's go for it. Me nim say me what only me ya do na senior first. Is that for but why okay? Okay. Enti ene de yebusuan for me the question way to me be say Mr. Kwamet,
Me
but
okay,
only
me okay,
Okay, yeah, boss, more.
Okay, but you remember kwaba.
yɛagya mpanimfoɔ
Yes,
mekyerɛkyerɛ obiara
abusuafoɔ gye wɔ so. Megye sɛ ɔmo
Yɛnyɛ
yɛ so.
ne atiefoɔ nyinaa.
Saa na ɛteɛ. Ase
Yeah.
nyame nhyira wo. Ada bɛba bia nso na ɛyɛ n'agye because wo nso so woyɛ one of the pillars wɔ ɛsɛ wɔ sɛ ara woba a wo nso so wode mmoa ɛba. Wo a ma nso so a wote akyire a ɔdi dwuma yie bisa Kwame Mɛte ɔdi dwuma yie. Wɔmpie but ɔdi dwuma wɔ sum ase.
Ne den.
Nti yɛ ma mu kasa bi a wɔsiesie. Na ɛnɛ ma prepare question ama no.
Hey.
Hey, ɛnyɛ hwee wo nua wɔ ha. Aburo so a.
Mr. Babo, wo deɛ ɛba na de nya botere.
Hey.
Mr. Kwame,
Ɛnyɛ hu koraa.
Yeah.
me pacho, if you could implement one change to improve food security in Ghana, what would it be?
Okay.
That's
Meda ase bebree. I think sɛ yɛn mpanimfoɔ ɔmo a ɔmadɛre mu wɔ agrek no yɛde yɛn yɛnim hwee but kakra a yɛn nso ebi a yɛbɛka no I think sɛ yɛbɛka. Yɛn mpanimfoɔ aka nneɛma bebree. To bring a change in agriculture. Na yɛhwɛ the colonial time no ɛne ebi a now a wohu sɛ nneɛma bi kɔɔ so a they did it in their interest. Sɛdeɛ yɛka sɛ cash crops ɛne saa nneɛma
sure.
nneɛma no. Nti in terms of Operation Feed Ghana, na sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛbuild Ghana very well a all these cash crops no yɛde kɔ akɔfeedi obi industry whereby it's not our industry. I will say, sir, I won't focus too much on the cash crops for now. I didn't hear because I know that the cash crops, is going to make the country money. That is where I'm also for the economy a bit me a. But I will let people develop the habit to say they will focus on what can put money in their pockets. Focus on satisfying your local community no than say dream about what we're going to export their yedibeko baby. That doesn't mean say ABR the cocoa farms and those cash crop farms no we're going to turn it to other farms. So you keep that. But be making sure say the improvement beba other sectors in terms of agriculture a bit me bebua bema agricultural system no bit me be grow. And one thing is say says NDC fo aba ɔmo nso se ɔmo nso de ɔmo biribi ɛɛba MPP baayɛ ɔno nso de biribi baayɛ so if I have the chance need to change something I will wish for continuity sɛ deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ no a ɛɛkɔ so no sɛ wowo ba a ɛyɛ sɛ wobɛhyɛ mu kena but ɛnyɛ sɛ wo nso woba abɛyɛ wo deɛ different title under different way. Yɛnyɛ situation no, there's nothing like continuity. Obi nya adeɛ ma obi ma mmɛtoa so. And that is one of the things nso a affect yɛ paa. And we don't throw more light on agriculture. Instead sɛ ɛyɛ politics. Deɛ obi kɔ akɔyiyi obi, deɛ obi kɔ akɔkeka biribi akyerɛ obi no, yɛ throw more light on it no. Sɛ yɛ me a rather no, this time no, I will recruit nkurɔfoɔ a journalists, bloggers a bɛma be focusing on agriculture. Said yeah, bɛma those kind of information out there no, will be more. Because ɛba bɛyɛ more our system mu that is where ɛbɛdraw for attention to it. Ɛbɛma nkurɔfoɔ ani bɛkɔ saa nneɛma no ho. Ɛna nneɛma bi a as I talk to you right now, some of the changes are meme feel say anka mɛtry sɛ mede bɛba ayɛ sɛ I won't allow foreigners to get into farming too much. I didn't hear because when they get into farming now, whatever they are producing in the country, no, they are not using it to satisfy the country. They come use our resources, our land, no more then they export it.
Okay.
It's either say there's going to be a way beer, the country will also benefit. Chinese if we omoba no more the rubber and any mana brain, but they want the organic stuff more farms. So intermediate to encourage Ghanaians to get into farming, anka foreigners say be a me dear may allow foreigners muntimi acquire huge lands. Some more acquire huge lands crana. There's going to be a percentage of what you guys are producing, for the local consumption. In JBR, the government, I think some can silos in how to preserve Sanema. If there are near maybe needing it, if we have to build those things, a bit we preserve, we add value to those foreign farmers now, but maybe taking advantage of Yena. I'll make sure say I'll have some emrabi around them, a bit we be protected, we say. And especially a handful, no. Anytime you give a land to a Bianca, a foreigner, no, you come up with policies beer you giving a land to a foreigner no ma a foreigner back in your community and so timima local people no and so timima be say 5:1 now government now making sure so all the necessary things are a be or be needy at the ground level no I bet me be mo be develop the interest no omo omonsa etimi aka but there should be a continuity. But the kind of people are young Ghanaians and as a meeting makasi yen what platform is kura yet no obi akura na dwene nko. Enti if we want change, you see we want change. The change starts with us. We can't change Ghana in a day. But within our small locality and as a network, they are a bit me be yen smart ass here. And those are some of the name I before say ABA. I will try say me put in place and before say bia a bit me a beboy not just a boy but as I just don't want to take the time in my German man penny for an ankasa or a great can say na omotimi a baby near my so a day am I but I say
Yo, senior Corbett, mpacho, menso me da senior ministry abusuafo da wase. Me bacha o sene no first time we dey share so esi me sro se kan subscribe my sisi ase ho no subscription me sro me aso sisi ne like nso so kan ho na ebeboa ama ebia nse ye kan implementation no eno so bo ama YouTube recommend ye video se ye kasa fa video so a ya latest video efa sister Victoria ene ne relocation to Ghana ho waba besete fast food fefefe how isitie na ideas ya wo no a bro mind na o invite ye kra se ye na ye wafu mfuo mu adwuma no ye wo no bai no ohia ye wo no bai no bi ohia it is ye betima surprise na kra na nke be ne de this is a good yenga sansa and this wontie ya meso so kone kokotie ne like ne share ne comment on so ne ya adwene de o kana a powerful video yeah enti uwie so no share me da wase ye nto aso Mr. Pamfo
Yes, sir.
say o ka say obeje unia enti say no unia ka say wie onso to a
Otwitwa
wo so
otwitwa
ewia na me de wo de na ba na so onso betima je wo ho a me da ase
okay. Nokwasɛm ne sɛ asɛm no a wɔaka no ɛda ne kwan so pɛpɛpɛpɛpɛpɛpɛpɛpɛpɛ. Na saa na ɛyɛ sɛ government no ɔde policies ɛba na ɛtumi boa ɛma ɛtumi promote yɛnyɛ economy no because menim sɛ for an individual to acquire land in let's say US ɛnyɛ easy. Ɛnyɛ easy. especially foreign ɛnyɛ easy saa. Nti yɛn ɔmo ba ha na ɔmo abɛfa yɛ biribiara fofofo na ɔmo de yɛ dɛ ɔmo de kɔ. Nti etwa sɛ government no ɛma n'ani yɛ dɛ ɛkɔ ɛhɔ nso. Ɛna afei district assemblies ɛne adeɛ they should be a machinery a ɛyɛ eco-friendly, environmental friendly a ɛno nso yɛ local farmers no ebetumi ause ɛde aboosti ɔmo yield. Besides nnora na me ne me papa, me biological father edi nkɔmmɔ bi na ɔka asɛm bi ma mehu sɛ okay then saa nneɛma wei nyinaa wɔ hɔ a yɛbɛtumi ause no as chemical to fight against the pesticide ne adeɛ instead of going into the foreign pesticides ne fungicides ne nea ɛkeka ho no. All those things no the government should set up. Na nansan da biara mete hɔ a yɛ a mete nisuo. Nisuo a mete ne sɛ agriculture is moving or farming is moving beyond planting, beyond yɛ yɛde yɛn ani yɛ de ehunu no. It is moving beyond that. So you should allow the technocrats in our midst. Nka mefa no sɛ bi a community biara instead sɛ yɛde yɛka no sɛ yɛde the agric office ɛkɔ district nko ara no. Nka this time round yɛnyɛ ne sɛ ɔmo bɛnbɛn yɛn so that farmers no betumi ahwɛ na ɔmo sua biribiara de ɛde afiri saa extension officers no ɛhɔ. And each every extension officer biara no ɛyɛ sɛ government make sure sɛ wɔnya asase at least a demonstration field to teach the farmers beyond the yɛyɛ no local one like maybe you go into the normal farming that we know. Because as I'm speaking to you, this is by say by say and say nsuo yɛ one factor. Nsuo no tɔ baako a awia nso ɛbɛbɔ saa. Nti sɛ nsuo tɔ baako na awia bɛbɔ saa then ne yɛyɛ ɛde asi saa adeɛ no ano kwan. You should invite more researchers to research because nneɛma asesa to bring out the best solutions to the crisis a yɛnya ɛwɔ agriculture sector no. Because you do baabi a ɛnyɛ afuo no kɛseɛ pii na mmom sɛdeɛ wobɛtumi ayɛ no. Nwummerɛ yi ara meba na me ne SD yɛ house of panyin ɛna na yɛde ɛnam ɛna wɔka sɛ n'afuo no m'afuo no da kwan mu hɔ na ɔmfa kɔɔ sɛ matumi ahwɛ afuo no yie paa na ɔno ne deɛ ebi asɛe, ebi wu, ebi ayɛ sei, ebi ayɛ sei. Nsaafoɔ no nyinaa no sɛ the likes of our kind ɛbɛn wɔn mu a then we can help them to come out with the best out of ɔmo hard work a ɔmo yɛ no. Nti ɛno ne deɛ mede bɛto me bra panyin Kwame deɛ no so.
Yo, meda ase.
Boss,
Senior, mpacho with you.
patransa na bɛkɔ anim ma memfa baako mmienu bi nsa nwo akyire na yɛnhwɛ adeɛ.
Ekwanda ho.
Meda ase bebree. One of your problems no nso yɛ your network in terms of transportation and then
Aye ka bo hobio.
all those infrastructures na ɛwɔ hɔ no for the benefit of ɔmo interest. Into wohwɛ baabi a railways ne nneɛma no na ɛfofa de sei a
Yeah.
ɛyɛ for said ɔmo cash crops no ɔmo nsa bɛka na ɔmo bɛtumi de bɛfeedi ɔmo nneɛma. Indeed, this is the time the government now has to make sure that the transportation network infrastructures building in such a way say benefit baby a local way say anyone. Because from MOFA for Ankasa 67% of agricultural produce in Ghana rots annually. And if 67% farmer now are using energy at the idea, no, na best say kwa Ufo the following year no obeyere ne ho don't know
Yeah.
because of bread. Into these are some of the things as I said government ne hwɛ. Silos no mu ne nneɛma mpanyinfo akeka. Cold storages. Amanfoɔ should start some mobile research bɛhwɛ how to preserve some of your local nneɛma no produce no. And your problem baako nso a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛhwɛ ɛyɛ your education no. Education a yɛde ama yɛn nyinaa doesn't focus much on agriculture, but rather focuses on something else. Nti wohwɛ as shift your mind no from the anka ɛbɛboa yɛn no to obi deɛ. That is why obiara bɛkɔ school akɔ akɔsua biribi obɛwie no ɔba bɛtena fie wɔnnya adwuma nyɛ. Nti sɛ government no ɛtumi open up ebia institutions or try sɛ ɔbɛma agriculture education no ɛbɛba bɛyɛ a full blown way say in the various schools no. Nti akwadaa no nyini no na ɔwɔ daa wei sei no ɛwɔ ne nsa no anaasɛ ɛyɛ something a ɔnhu ne sɛ ɛyɛ something bad. Yɛbɛka sɛ ɛwɔ nti ne ɛyɛ farmers day ne nneɛma bɛyɛ encourage nkurɔfoɔ. Ɔmo win farmers day ne nyinaa nyɛ ordinary people. Because when Timian no yɛn community ni baabi a yɛfi no sɛ wo deɛ nso a wo deɛ wo nka ho yɛnkan wo nka ho. But sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛtumi encouraging nkurɔfoɔ a those down there ɛnyɛ deɛ wadɔ 100 acres no no wɔ ne biribi didi da. Wopɛ sɛ yɛ attractive ɛma those down there a ɔmo na ɛsɛ wo attract ɔmo. Enti me si yɛde bɛkɔ akɔma obi na ɛno kora mpo no politics wɔ mu ne saa nneɛma no ɛno no meyɛ me a megu no. Ne encourage obiara. Fertilizer na beba we party na was wa because the party na was untin na or the man and crowful.
Unfortunately.
Which is very, very bad. To me, the American say as I see a share how ye bay ye near maybe. Na see it me share sani money year a beboa. Near shall say a bed practice it. Obi on my water fertilizer. Am I a community no? Ode yen by nature hwade obi yare ne ka kire se won no madro 1 spoon a otimi num 2 said ya e be fast be ma no. Enti we just imagine the kind of fertilizer the manema a omudi gu enuane na se no all in the name say ye pesika me pese ye kese. At the end of the day that is also going to bring problem. In a couple of years ye benya problems bebre. Because measurement na yede ma obi no when near actually because of Felisa oh say yes the 1 spoon yeah be ma 20 when you mean for 2 spoons in there then timi ma me more whereby the ane be out but who could di ayare na wafa de ama ho into the kind of education as say be e to akwa bit me aboa no as it me de to akwa me that's bebre I mean take it time no
Senior. Your opinions welcome, and you take time, yeah, and you take time, yeah, well accepted. I mean, sure, with us. It was your for sending no first time they share so as Mr. Yeah, more. Nasi hona subscribe no, Mr. C. Casana Mia so mammy. And yes, we are now be Udimia see mammy. Who are no mere like it so. Sa when implementation ebia eboa ema YouTube to me account for channel no so ma others na de ba ko ani gene se so obi ko share video no so hwe a e change on so life and as for the video aspect no your more videos or yeah latest any sister Victoria there also so be kasafa ho wo kire se ohia surprise food enti kokohwe video no so wonhwe ya bia na o business opportunity wo enu anti ene so operation feed Ghana no enye ba ko fo botum ko entra
so Francis Mr. Rich we patch my me fa de ba konto
yeah
Ghana for mahu yesuban sesi a won say Yen ya bema kanipa 22 na waso.
Mhm.
But 12 pena like it.
Wow.
It is a person you build it together. We say we working together to do something.
Wow.
Buy sono crano. Just a like ne crowd will like video no, it's a problem for you. How do you expect to say you bet me bring it change na ya kasa about it no?
It's true.
So that mentality, competition mentality, no, I affect you too much. I'm better. I have to be better than you. I have to be better than this person. Please, if you are on here, a like, no, untuasika for the like. A like, no, NTBB biara enfi udiemu. Yet teamwork de yanyade. Abrofo no teamwork na do baby o. If we really want the change we're talking about, ye bejina no ye kotena baby ye see we want the change. This is the change we're talking of. Inketenkete ni yentimi anshe change na say we're not going to get it. It is all wahanum na wosha. I'm pleading with you. Anytime you find a Ghanaian's video, unsaka will be video. Promote that person. Don't think says Andy Pakuno ebeye big or be say. Have you forgotten say when we build something better on here, your network is strong. You can pick up a phone and call it up. Mr. Charles, say, open network or do be and answer BB. See how we use some effort and we come here just alike. It just as I said, or Casa no patcho, please. Change in a hand a chance here free. Change in the chance here with us. Into one chance, yes, I will be do near. There is no way the problem will be solved. May I say?
Wow. I think say for the rest of the video, no, I don't know what can me if I've been to also be because one nearly it perfectly. Um, yeah, speechless. For mene Mr. Street Young, yeah, one of the program, no, okay, samba could be. Na me expectation of a okay, I was say, ni papa mo ni bonimo, yeah, nipa. Maybe somehow, no, maybe maybe na metima phone more baby, no, maybe as a fresh, no, they say, me, I got some new na who say, represent SOS no, and until now, person by like and so subscribe na. Sorry to say, ABS and until I fetch me because I'm not perfectly right. Just say holy say be a measurement me and say the senior can no pepe say be a me hunty and they be a person by like and so person by subscriber. Do it for others. Don't do it for me, please. Senior, moka say one moka colonial aspect on a honor pesi yigina so say na obi bia wa bia no me the link na to say of brabeshe wa adwena because somehow no obi alivu a traditional a model I can call it colonial export model meaning say enkofo no mo konso mo gina kwanchi ana mo gya bibia to say asase no wo na mo fa yi we say nti no ye mu bia ye kwafo ekoyefuo na de yan say ye dwun exportation nene mene sister Rita a oton Jane edi nkomo na mbisa se ma me pese me nya update o Jane no wo say Jane no kra no bi ono kofa no kra no enye ho no mudua no senior all the varieties from Togo, Nigeria, baby a home market na ye the you can say oh pejina to obekọ ho no the biggest market for Nigeria no ni nyina no yenua ebi ho only 1% bi sa enti pese me ne ebu se won say who teach us na who set this mind thing to our mind say yenye fu but yenye only exportation na the local need no yɛnto nkyɛnkyɛn mepa kyɛw ɛba ne sɛi na pɛ na yɛtumi agye yɛn ho afiri saa deɛ no mu as a farmers.
I think so, and an American from the schools. So what I say, how the kind of education I know, and on the day problems, no, and na am I faces on your man, and na what the I can about abrochira semon crofo abrochiri. Yang kasa per se no, anything about yang because ye dia share trim say bibinia de nye ono ana de enti odwene a ondwene ono ne de ho. Just it's so difficult sometimes, you know. Me personally, okay, me kind of straight. Anytime I hear somebody saying, say, adekwa waya wa Ghana no, or pesa or exporting no. Na say, menye we se kakra menti ase. Obi te Ghana say wo farms, but or hwese ade ni betimi beko UK, e betimi beko US. Especially bi a wo afi na wa hye ase. Dam adwene no ye de ahye etiri mu ase bibia wunya bibia se ode kwa abonten. And one thing I make obi biara wo ye bibia so hye ase se wo kwa akɔhwɛ the market price, world market price of an item. Now there are your calculations are be a mistake. Sane mani nyina kan obi oye nkyene kra wo enkyene no or hwɛ se ode kɔ we say omra kwa wo local market no ntimi satisfy. Ain't there be a Mr. Obey Honum Nebon any other platforms some can say, yeah, we say local champion. I didn't won't try to obey the local champion. Adiana we and obey Ghana home first. Because what me selling ye na a GDA and one the best seller would they call outside. So and when you know your mindset game and the kind of education I yano. Adia hwɛ wo a woyɛ biribi wɔ Ghana no wo adeɛ no obi mpɛ but yɛka sɛ yɛde firi US na aba ɛyɛ wo sɛ yɛ ade papa enti me hu ne sɛ the kind of education a yɛnya no ɛna affect yɛn in that way and saa nneɛma no nyinaa no sɛ yɛanhyɛ ase a in our own small way woni wo fiefo kasa not even ten biano o ma wo kasa wo fo se o pese o trom se abrochire ye better than Ghana e be den no no te Ghana na won kasa pese o baby obeka obeba into the kind of education and the way we talk to young crowd no e bibia esese yehwe eno no na betimi beboa be ma e betimi be change the mind from that colonial way say colonial way ni de about be high about be affecting but that shouldn't be an excuse. We should see to it say there's going to be a change and that change comes from us in our own small way no there betimi be ye bia me right now and I'm not looking at say the larger numbers but assuming say SOS for nyina create me implement whatever that we wish na yen nyina yen free a kroba so yen nyina yen free one area until at least if we are standing out in our various locations in Ghana and obabuama ebema whatever we are doing by attracting crowd to yen until that is what I made it I think say there might be so many things as I said yes sometimes say ye pese ye yida colonial we say ni fi honom a ye hwe ye structures bi e wo honom na e ma ye hu say brofo na ye the key hwe ye kasa ya just I think Tuesday enumre enkrofo de niema bi ebeto manim. There is a unum some ye ebi ankrofo ehu on the market to say ginger, onion paste be. Could you believe says our onion paste now omo ye ewo Ghana no? Omo ankasa ni farm for it. They have to buy it and send much more process it. I how we say it. Inti assuming says a winning baby kwa this factory war. A market man said you start planting onions. Adentina omonye. They started said they were planting onions. Omone farmers no come together. Omo get you with the seeds. Yan kasane yadwene nye. Obeji seed no. The assessor ye no one ye. Inti discourage omonso. So home. Inti your mindset ni adwene crying no. Edu baby a before se befi. Enye bibian me blame on the colonial way say no. We are just corrupt. Sana meka. You crack corrupt minds. Inti yemfa bibia blame bia ma the colonial, but and also aye bibi there. But Yankasa per se, we need that change we're talking of. No? And I think sir, Mr. Manuel Bantino, Metraso Ahanum. Na ono de or the fire can see a neighbor. Mr. Manu Michiao.
So what should I come out to? Meeting baby, me can't be sure when I come out to. So I come out to the manako. Well, yeah, before I'm about, we still have to understand. So we need the BBI. So, and na me here, me name my wife, na me check it. Asante for maybe a free buy. Me boy about 1701. Na Asante Kingdom wɔ hɔ. Na ɛnyɛ Asante fo, na yɛ Kingdom. Iti ɛkyerɛ yɛ sɛ yɛn no yɛwɔ nananom asɛm a back to the story, but I'm just laying some ground. So he said, near wɔ nneɛma a yɛyɛ, near wɔ yɛ tradition, yɛwɔ yɛ biribiara. Iti nnuane a yɛka ni a ɛyɛ dɛn na nipa betuma build a kingdom a odi aduane a ɔmo di. It's impossible. Hey, nti ehwɛ a na mo sɛ nti 1935 ansa na ɔmo aborɔfo no koraa start who say there are some people here until say Ghana yenya independence no ɛna yɛde Asante region Asante kingdom ɛka Ghana ho as ansa na ɔmo name Ghana, because no ɔmo hu yɛ no mo frɛ Gold Coast no koraa na yɛn yɛ kingdom no wɔ hɔ dada. It is 17th nti wofo sɛ saa time no ne yɛ ni yɛ aduane ne yɛ ni yɛ nneɛma a yɛhyehyɛ. How can you form a kingdom a wonni aduane? A kingdom, anybody be bring in live under a kingdom. Now a kingdom no, it is a senior obi say Marco Saudi Arabia. Sike ohu nyina ye king no omudia. So you need vote in a kingdom. No, you don't have a vote. And ye can be mamin can be the king no bekano. And no na yede ye. Untimi nko otumfo anim na nko kaka je say oni ne baba betena se aye kama menka na asase we hwan dia there be otumfo ka so awro na asem pabo a owro na asem pabo a there be a wote ni asase a wote so nyina wotu afiri ho eye kingdom. So we have something different now. Ansa na obetimi a solve problem no na wunim problem no. So wunim problem now, how do you solve the problem? It be me question me so be to one say it you for the political parties eba omu ba we see we see any say we are sure say omu nim problem. There is difference between say you na yeka de. Now there is difference between say this is a problem. Me person me solve it. And the answer me solve no. And say me get risk assessment. E say me assess risk e what's our problem we ho. Again enya na edi yen. Nti a e say me tena ase na me hyehyɛ akwan a me de be solve sa problem we. And you know, so okay, tell me say NPP buy because say planting food for again she say no she tutu was say ansana obi free aban mu no because yama only 4 years. And sana me for the next 4 years, no, me make sure say food for planting, no, Ghana ni bia betimi planting ayedi. They don't have it. It will be bejina ene. No, also catch them say, Obama be ye bibi. Na bibi na obey no, ye ni eti ha ye enipa be say 20 something ye share ye Kenya. Oh, ho some point to the minister no be kan ye mu. Yen kakra ye share you. Hwɛ sɛ ne nyina ye hu mistakes e wo mu. Do you think say nipa na tena se adwene say me ɔman wei yɛde ahyɛ me nsa problem wei na ɛwɔ hɔ na mmom atena ase ne stakeholders ne ɛwɔ mu nyinaa dwene ɛna kwan a yɛbɛfa so a yɛde bɛsolve saa problem no ɛno na ɔbɛka yɛ no ɛma me ma obi mɛtɔ anasesɛm nkyerɛ me because there is difference between say mehu problem na my voice it is sɛnea comment ɔka sɛsi a no ɔsi yɛn nyinaa yɛwɔ problem okay comment wato bo ase atena ase afa ne a the reason why amanfo ba program wei so a ɔmo ɛnlike anaasɛ ɔmo nhyɛ. You can say it every day, but have you really sat down to find out why? No. It's you who cannot push me. How about now catch him say, oh, my baby say, and you pay that so and no me bow with you, but I don't know come to me, my main council to be. Kabeka say, and then any part 22 way no basso.
No problem.
Any part 22 way the basso no. Me who woman in a dean. Me who woman like here. Me who woman share. No ma call I go behind the scenes and call them out. Nti after me analyze no. Into the next program no. Those people no. So omu ye habitual. Omu sound like it. But be by skip omu they will do it. Okay. So worry. Now let's come to another question. No. Yeah, course you be your businesses, you be your farming. This me question me busama monso no say most of the time na yɛba ha yɛtumi tena ase hu sɛ yɛhia wei adeɛ wei hia yɛyɛ wei hia okay sɛ wonim sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ yɛte silos ɛwɔ sɛ yɛyɛ sei a wa start hwehwɛ sɛ wobɛtumi de silos ayɛ wo business a ɛnyɛ government no sɛ okay now no menim baabi a yɛdua mmɛ menim baabi a yɛdua nkateɛ menim baabi a yɛdua wei can we find a business over there to do the abiding timi nyɛ because mehwɛ mu a Yetimika said, this is the richest man in the world. The guy said the richest country. Obia say, Dangote, the richest man in Africa. Edi no ye. Oka say Dangote kotinasi every day say the Nigeria ye intino omu anya menyeska na menyeska. And fano ho. Why do we always mention the Ghana the NFL Osei Kwame? That's why. He saw a need. He fixed that need and he's making money out of it. You know, say Kwame Trans say me train say Ghana ban be and I say Ghana ban more me and na me nkoda me make iska. There be. So I want us me per say ye bahasi ho. Me ideas ni name me for free ha no. Me hwɛ me ho any modern and me ye ni di metimi di a solve certain problems me di be ye den me di be di yie. If because me catch us be no yeah let's Ghana problems and what say ye dia to aban no and as say also what from day one you call into government yeah democracy and as from day one you independence free abroad for the whole same problem need they were when the school system won't be change you know and they will say obi ye me cookie to be or me call export how many regions no wako origin crowd or go wetimi akonka market ni nyina na wako e dey na wako because ya ti the ntia me kan Ashanti kingdom no also obi aba be sesa wadwene e na afa de wuye nyina no ofu se ono na wo the common because ono na sika mu odu ba mi wa ukro mu kra no ntimi fa emeko na say tomatoes na wo ye no ntimi fa nko ade na wo fa nko togo ade na wo ka say wo be spectacle Burkina Faso ade na person wo export ko UK and I say Germany and I say America. Ade na wo neighboring countries kra. So who the fancy would also pay Ghana. Ade na wo neighboring countries kra on dwene ho. When have you produced something about drinking Africa country? That is how I say what drinking. You see and say what drinking, but what I dear cry why you cry on person the be. Okay, now some person the be go to go cry. What you say? It be a central region and as a fishing area. Fish pen no more. Okay, now make come on produce. What drinking sir? So the mindset on this, but this platform, I want us, you perceive drinking Ghana. But at the same time, you're drinking Ghana. I was here, you be I was here, she near me. Who problem no now for so bit me solve now can nipa bom and I say wow we dear Mr. Obetray about networking, about meeting people, about getting things together. Now bit me start here. Me nam has Texas I say me who silos be bre enya by enya Texas government ne dia. Individual farmers and almost obi a okra ebi a odua aburo na okoto ada aburo enu na odo be store wo mu na ode ama ne mmoa obi nso ɛyɛ ano ɔtɔn ɔyɛ ano de akɔma grocery stores HEB your local grocery store wɔ ha se ya ne first priority ne sɛ ɔgye taxes for nneɛma nyinaa sɛ woyɛ tilapia ɛhɔ na metɔ tilapia kube bibia wɔ bi ɔgye local nneɛma no gu ne store ansa na wagye ebi firi other state. So there are so many things that we can and men didn't say was so we just that one there, Mr. Obetri every Saturday. It's not about it's your resourcefulness, you know, how you deal with people. A tomato to say or accommodate, find a way to go solve it. Now who now be candia, the same thing. And they won't me and then say me who is Mahama Washe Navy for Atari, Uzunko Sojada, and then Wakoshe Navy for Atari. Because I said, mommy, but a problem we can see every day's problems and talk about it, and it won't solve anything. We have to tune our mind to channel our mind to solving problems. It's a question out there, be maybe but I say, what Busa say, a crime never first to solve a problem, and I think that is one way me may approach it, solving problem. My approach is me who I don't know. There is no sector, agri sector, and my incentives. You crack machines back for agrica. My incentives be okra truck be ye juma, ye my incentive. Equipment for farming, ye my incentive. There is nothing nipa no more deliberate yet. Yaka say, yen twini yen grow for you because agric in di number one a year employ nipa. And you see a yena omudi ye wa agric mu. They never. Can they even copy Akwaye Oba Burkina Faso na say the oye? What to hold out nipa na yard? Can you find a blueprint and go say, Charlie? Mona ye Jane, Mona entry no susu. Say. Is there a way a bit me tap into Momo agree the way I'm more yellow? Yes, so I implemented the same thing. Say, a nipa how do person solve a problem? That is how you go about and seek information to come and implement our grounds. And yes, I'm sorry, I don't be in a platform now. Can't be open. Can't be na beto so ne galamsey. How many any blame no mu pass no mu nyina we ba no betu we ba no betu we ba no betu. How many years na galamsey ho a ye ni enim sade we ku ye. And so obian find a way to solve galamsey. So we don't have to rely on these people when it comes to agriculture. We have to find a way to make things better. I know say Mr. Felix person call back na okoni slow but maybe I won't say 20 min call name slow. Into the boss. Me 1 cent I made the best start, so a month or so they can join in
Yo, ɔbɛne yɛda ase na pɔn sɛ wɔtaa mo so na wɔnnie nso a wɔtumi adwane yɛ. Yɛda ase nya community ase ne Mr. Pamford, Mr. Felix no mmerɛ a ɔmoyɛ yi. Mepa makyɛw na meka biribi sɛ as a promise no sɛ the loopholes no a ɛwɔ Operation Feed Ghana mu no, ɛno bɛtumi ama yɛ big opportunity now no as a business no. Ɛno bi na Mr. Meno aka no na mede deɛ aka no ɛtoa so. Sɛ ɛkɔ economic pressure from the Western world no ɛne local na ansa na economic pressure no bɛba no yɛwɔ nneɛma bi wɔ a yɛbɛtumi menu mmienu sɛ individual no yɛbɛtumi identify ayɛ a ebetimi release ntina me try bibi say if you don't create your own economy na someone else will create it for you by default. Enti say yepa as a Ghanaians yɛnhyɛ ase na yɛmboost yɛ local produce sɛdeɛ Mr. Meno ka no dua mbɛko dua gyeene na yɛmfa nkɔ Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Boko baabiara bi yɛndivide Ghana into sectors sɛ northern region asase no ɛyɛ ma ɛyi a ɔde sɛ bayerɛ a yɛnnua bayerɛ wɔ hɔ na sɛ Ashanti region so yɛfa kube a yɛnnua kube wɔ hɔ. Then yɛbɛba infrastructure and logistical shortcomings. Infrastructure no nso so no as an individuals no yɛntimi nyiyi kwan, but we can do the logistical way sɛ sɛdeɛ Mr. Manu ka no yɛbɛsisi silos anaasɛ yɛbɛbɛpɛ store warehouse anaasɛ yɛbɛtumi ayɛ network sɛdeɛ na meka ntentan no na sɛ wei na produce ntoosi no a me nso me produce nkateɛ, we can then exchange sɛdeɛ na yɛ maame no yɛ nananom ɛyɛ ne mmerɛ bi no tete no exchange of goods almost that time na almost exchange just goods until we didn't ntoosi ba na we didn't akokwaba the same value no more exchange, but me no me no deɛ ɛno nti da bia meka sɛ SOS no sɛ wowɔ hɔ na sɛ wotie SOS a ma me hu ade a woyɛ. If I don't want you to listen to SOS and without gaining anything from it. Until the bia many abre sɛ obiara ma me hu deɛ ɔyɛ, because sometimes sister Victoria to us say ohia nkɔfo a ɔmbɛ produce ne ɔmbɛ supply ne nneɛma ɛso obi te hɔ o produce the same nneɛma yi a sister Vicky here, but me nim and sister Vicky nim and that person particular person so TSS but ɔno no anya deɛ na adwena ba so. Enti moma yɛn linking up network na yɛn exchange ye value na ye de ye create na yɛn create a market, because ene na yɛsɛ market ye call stock market ya afford down value quotation ni nneɛma no the same time na so nkɔfo so make millions. So say ye call international market na international market elusu sika trillions millions. That doesn't mean say me no me no ete Ghana na see you lose sika. And if we can avoid this now, meaning say you create your own economy. So what create economy de be back bontia on fa ho. Enti yen create infrastructure and logistical shortcomings you betimi the irrigation so crack ho, because irrigation wo body say nyame adoma November eduru a ukọ agogo a na yɛka sɛ kromfo a bɔde ne yɛde bɛboro, but sɛ ukọ April mu hɔ na mframa ahyɛ ase yɛfifa na bɔde ɛka gu ni nneɛma no bɔde ho ayɛbɔ ayɛden. Nti yɛka kromfo a yɛmfa bɔde na yɛde bɔ na yɛbrɛ wo. Enti moma yɛhu saa access to the farm equipment nso so sɛ wowɔ bibi te sɛ new regional capital say o ma create ebi te sɛ Brownhafo ene go so mo sei na woji one store wobetimi akwakoje some market agriculture equipment bi na wo dey hiring na o set courses ama farmers ofre Mr. Pamfo no aba na be course ama no say the Mr. Pamfo nyame adoma ye be me na ko no of region Edibasa na farmers omo ntwen enru market say February ansa na ma yeso mo kodo e create problem da bia and e create still creating problem. Ye sha say prepare yourself in November December e beduro na proka no na aye adwuma ye planning and mismanagement and so you look also Mr. Henry Mpacho me ba wa misro. Me pese me yi ene ba say because me promise say your planning and mismanagement is also ha. And also so no one of the loopholes Mr. Manu kan, Mr. Kwame kan. Akuma da ntosi say yetia yenya the mind of a mind of value chain no. Yen fisi e mind say you seed back a seed no enwie from the seed no it turn it to a match of it say abe wonu abe da ho no wobenoa wobenya nwa firi mu wobenya mefe wobenya adwe wonya adwe ni wie na wobetima nya nwo te say so many things ya abe ni dua nso abe domo abe ma wodomo abe ma wakokono. And the last kura na abemu na kura so asa be fertilizer ma. Enti mema ye hu we say no. And there were some things under planning and mismanagement so me fa no the environmental conditions Sometimes o 1972 na ope eni ahyehyehye. Sa ne nyina no edi ehwamo. Enti sa we say nyina di ehwamo na meaning say there's a more opportunity about it. Irrigation ye betimi aseti bi. Ene ye nua baako o 17 acres o po bi a one ne be be capital joint capital na what to down no ye vegetables nko a still me dia to me yenya obi ma no I was a serious person. Okay, yento aso ye were natural factors bushfires what the wolf when person o ye proka kra no no obi di jakotum wadua mo na wo ye harvesting no obi di jakotum ye betimi asete fire securities safeguards eduru this time na yebeko areas mu as an agency na only farmers dey won kutahudie how a ombesi abo mo niam mo ban how obechekire as individual say niam we na moaye eno so the same course so wutimi nya ho advantage of sika obo mo mote mo no so. The last one is the transitional and agricultural barriers no eno de me no change of attitude rapid change in here. So you say you put to operation feed Ghana, you hear rapid change. Adabraka, no matter what, you see you change your attitude, Yanko into deep in ourselves. Yenhwe baby ye higher no, and yema higher no, baby ye tosini no, and let's turn that limitation into our resource. Mr. Herring Bachamo.
Oh, boss Major, so good evening.
Even open a Jason when about
It's your phone, you know.
Sorry.
Mr. Menu, boss, Mr. Pamford, and Mr. Felix. It will be a.
Also.
They be a me bar, no, Bessia, Yamakaka.
Yes.
There will be yes, you are going to Mukaka. The agriculture, no, I per se, day,
Because you're in fan
Belgium, yeah.
When you say you're okay.
I will, in fact.
You wait into Belgium and France, they say.
Yeah.
But you too, yeah, you will be a too. You free.
Yeah. Actually, make a press release. Normal the numbers be to almost say a public relations officer. I mean, for Ministry of Food and Agriculture. That person me who catch and say, oh, you want crophobia more and most they are interested in agriculture. Like they want to venture. Or my meeting I say, I buy no. It's like they are trying to create a conducive environment. You know. And yes, I buy no was as be or the bema wana bibi, but wa was as And based on the region you are in, and our assassin one, they have extension officers. Unyambwa, ABI, Banu seedlings. Now, new government in Shisha and Bakuno say, obey ye baby ebia point bi a ɔmbɛwɔ agricultural machineries. Nti sometimes be drew preparing the land for planting. Ebia you can easily go and rent, this equipment to facilitate your preparations and all that. But and yes, ninya ebia also woyɛ farmer, woyɛ farming. Ɛwɔ sɛ onya sika de kɔtɔ seedlings, ɛwɔ sɛ onya asase, ɛwɔ sɛ ne nyinaa hia sika. But buy no ɔmba sɛ ɔbɛma wo sika, but maybe he will come in the form of maybe some of these services. Ebi provide you seedlings, extension officers wɔ hɔ a wohia nimdeɛ bi a they can help you in terms of the field you want to enter and all that. And no say one thing that sometimes you lack it. If you didn't say starting a kitwa niska no kakra bi. But I know say we all have the vision, say we'll expand, we'll grow it and it will get bigger.
Yeah.
So right from the word you start, one of the things I mean say I was all registered as a company. You have to strategically position yourself. I mean, who register a company, who to me be account. So say there be who they won't join some of this CCI or some network group and our platforms be I ban say horticulture maybe association be so that sometimes funding and now will be from us and they share that information among themselves. So if you've registered, you have an account because me sure say investor be na obi be person obe nya equity and obema o sika de aye o business now obe bisa our account aye o personal account na wo but only business account. Some of these petty things might lose opportunities and so we kakra bi am person they can so yeah sure. I mean yenim said yeah ye no city but I'm so happy that this platform too is created. Yeah, Kikayo. What you are doing, you are also educating the public. You are educating us. In Yamani bi wo ye ni mana questions are what in a ho a wo bisa ho ba unni baby you can go and share it or somebody who can help you to understand. But some platforms like this, it helps us. Am I like-minded people? We come together and we share ideas and we support each other, to advance our cause. But Mr. Comment say Oka Bibi say like a ban on this part of our world. I say we really don't cooperate. They be to say even liking the page and all that. Yebeka sasa say it's a cultural thing. I say we are now trying to, overcome that in a way. Because even when you are primary school, GSS, SS, who try exams, they be I say kata work. So it's like there's always competition among us, and sometimes you enter, you go to the corporate world, the same thing. Obi to me how you can share ideas and like we have this crab mentality and it's not helping. But call Western world now. And now they also have their shortfall, but they always encourage group work or working together, and we all know that teamwork will always make the dream work. When you help when you help somebody will help you, and together we move together. We move ahead or we advance. But they be as a baby back here, something yeah, but it's the mindset, the culture. People say, maybe in the family, they are having a discussion. You want to have a say, hey, you are not doing, keep quiet, like, and you become timid. Even if you
Yeah.
are working in an international institution or organization, you have brilliant ideas you want to bring up, but it's difficult because you've not been trained to really ascertain your thoughts and, sometimes the issue, and also counting that sometimes Ghana, difficult sɛ wobɛnya Ghanaian companies grow out to become nationally recognized and now international koraa kɔ. Ghana ni pɛ sɛ ɔwɔ ne kɔnem bu ɔnya kakra ɔne ne family, but now the way the world has become, we are in a global village, untumi nka sɛ wohyɛ wo kɔna na de bia wodeɛ wompɛ ne ho
Ɛsɛ
asɛm na
me ba chosa me ntwa no a that means the survival mode na na ɛwɔ mu.
oh oh
Not the trivia na me twerɛ na last time no, because ade we na me ankasa me nso me personal limit ni bia. Because
ɛnyɛ easy o
you get yourself a limit kakra na wo no you are food enough no ano no. Ti me ma
oh
wato aso.
nti education a woma yɛ deɛ mehu sɛ ɛbɛboa paa ba wohu sɛ woyɛ nipa ho adwuma deɛ a you need to be patient and you need time it will take time because yɛnya independence yɛkɔnya 70 years o ɛna nhyehyɛeɛ yi awɔ during colonial times no na Mr. Mienu ka asɛm bi these people I was reading an article bi and asɛ ɔmo ehu sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛde yɛn ho no before they were exporting most of these raw materials from Africa. Ebano cereals, ne nneɛma yi. But who say yeah person they started to cooperate among themselves. So be dua ebano wheat, ebano tomatoes, ebano sa nneɛma na like yeah omo use slaves no they produce so like come on almost you said they will not depend on us but ban of cash crops now cocoa coffee anyway now be jamai but my process so said they be better no cheap then they will process it and so it's like all this thing is structured almost organized bibia almost nim the pay and they just want us to be in that at that level IMF, NISA, World Bank, Ninya, just to maintain us at that level, not to. See, and as someone say, no, ye bre, ebanu global south now, bre. We also want to have a say at the table because we control most of these critical raw materials and all that. We want. And kind of food security. Person one day migrated to have a vision to have food sovereignty because we call France our Ministry of Food no and Agriculture no almost the sovereignty ato so COVID by said they said they told their people not to panic because they have food sovereignty. That means they control what they eat, they control how they produce what they eat, they have that this thing. But who the security no share what dream more. It's like barely as a survival mode now, kind we are just trying to make ends meet, just to but say the sovereignty neighbor just say you can even produce more and even export. Just say who don't to make bankrupt or that's where the export and all this thing comes in. But in kakra, it's a vision we have, but we take baby step. As every little drop make a mighty ocean. Yeah,
So,
I'm so confident that we'll get there. Thank you
yeah.
so much. I mean, Shamapa.
Oh, that one also I say for your knowledge, I also share. Na pesa me chwa adwene ba bibi kakra so. Me share that ni Belgium kese na ba what things have 1002 bi na me twam. On say Belgium wonam sa zone na agriculture na omo that thing marine na say friends empo de mframabo a na
Wind, yes.
the wind, yeah.
Energy.
Do you think say you betimi create that particular system sin bi wo ye coastal areas ne some areas na amframa fa no na yetimi use the aboy agriculture no.
Oh, boss.
Ebusuafo
Go
mpacha
home.
monti ade ye kan yi o. Se o nye nyina kwa na yeti na ye wie kwa na mo betimi use this particular idea no a share o other platform so because ye tu kwan a ye kohwe grass nko a but the do maybe an nye bo so se ehwe mpacha koto aso.
Yes. We dey me that sipani konya we so. I mean, it's a technology I'm use no. We home. And the time has come. Say Africa no. We have to be conscious of ourselves, who we are and what we have. It's very critical because where we are, a lot of continents were once here. Our status now. Yeah, negotiation and bilateral relation with some developed countries. What do we bring on the table? What do you want? Share Nansea Burkina Faso, man your buy. when we go, our people, because of the way they train us, and we should also bear in mind, say, they were trained by this colonial system. And this colonial system is still running our system. And if you continue to do the same thing and it's giving you the same results, now you different result. That means you have to change the procedure. Said but we keep, doing the same thing. We are expecting different results. It won't happen. Until let me say, this is a technology that these people, they will not just hand it over to you. But also, maybe also, and you also need something they have. But how do you negotiate so that you can have an MOU, a Beba Africa, Ghana, say, oh, this sector, Ministry of Energy, go into this partnership or this agreement, Omumbeye project way. And look at the way we did the port, Tema Harbor, even airports. It's the same technology by arrangement. And sometimes Europe, we can turn to China too. When as Africa, baby, we have alternatives. And yes, it be America, and yes, it be European. But the technology, China for sometimes you can say free US the papa, but we the brain him say no iPhone craft, for example, they assemble that in China. Are you getting me? And now me news CNN woman be all producing a factory a produce but the raw material be or China at a very cheap cost because of labor and raw material. Or see Trump tariff you or the it was all relocated. Because was you produce that same thing in US, it was so importing raw material from 14 different countries, which will increase his cost of production. And yet economical no. Into technology we are very critical and a bano baby we are say corner green transition like energy transition na ye say ye carbon way na ye can one say Africa your raw materials na able to produce energy and affect say like ye environment. Yeah, said the microphone no. But we need to negotiate. We need to identify say when na ye here. Say the whole call negotiation and now engage in any bilateral relation with some of these countries, Belgium, France. They say and they don't want to lose Africa. We have this organization we call Organization of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States. A three continent organization, and it consists of 79 countries. And they have partnership with EU, European Union. It is our partnership, and my EU is very powerful because on or yes, 27 countries. So, but 79 countries, Africa, Pacific regions, and Caribbean. This agreement. But then a free and only ask them no. And our leaders as obia to say they can everybody on his own obia fighting for the no benya. But collectively no ye one voice bargaining for something that will benefit all the continent. To me hope say me a civil servant. Until sometimes this is a bonfire say, I buy ne penny for no more or margin bebaso to champion some of these things because that's where the world is going. Sometimes we said yeah, global trends air corner, we say Africa say yeah, but your potential we are yet to unlock it. Africa, they all know is the future of the globe. But we have to strategically position ourselves to tap into some of this, technology and advantages we are available. But that's a power boss.
Wow. Yo, mention me that say, na menshira o ne emra wanya na also abechire o de. Maybe we can meet one day before we be share
Yes,
fee.
yes. Sure.
Ebusiafo emre no aso yakasa more than 2 hours. Na enye problem. say bekasa more than that. But just say ebe encourage you be na video that obefa ahwe. Because sometimes we who see video na more than 2 hours na ya na ompese obede obehwe. Ene ye wo yenua ye penny until Yaba Farms senior KK. But I don't know say or still online. Mr. KK so online Mr. Me here kakra. Mami who say online see but chawada. It was young for
Boss, me patcho also be was 17 acres and on here like partnership bill say.
me
Make
pachai.
you your number, patcho.
So me number and I only
Patcho Davio. Wait me. Abo mama.
yeah, mami fa me email ne ma na me de to ase na
Patcho.
epic na text me na me for ma.
Me
Because
patcho.
first na ka me ja number ne tum eduro bi na me receive course bi na say
Ish.
any present course into no ma.
It's true, it's true.
Yeah, mama unless say metima pay one particular number any basa no dey a o frɛ na enya de am we dey no answer me answer no use into no
Me patcho you.
nti me de me yi me no be ma na eno no basa na ofa na watimi o use no na wa send me ayaba me
Me
ba me
patcho.
hwɛ ba bia matra to na me mfa ma no
Me
na me
patcho.
nto ato ebusuafo na me ka edin da hɔ yi na SOS obi wɔ show up but wɔyɛ biribi boa yɛnua Mr. Keke wɔ no wɔn nso yɛ obi a ɔboa SOS papa wɔn show up wɔn pɛ ne din wɔn pɛ sɛ me sure sɛ asɛm a meka wɔn ne menya adwene because wɔn pɛ sɛ ka meka but the sense in wɔ show up actually message na mpɛ sɛ meka wohu they say flyer na wohu ne fɛfɛɛfɛ na ya na ɛba na wɔno ne sɛ ne mmerɛ ɛna wɔyɛ ɛnɛ flyer yi for net program in particular ne 2 or 3 programs yɛ before no ɔno na ɛyɛ saa flyer no ɛyɛ deɛ ne Mr. Asama yɛ ne Mr. Dr. Kofi Boakasa nyina no wɔn na ɛyɛ saa deɛ no ɛnɛ ɛyɛ ɛyi paa wɔyɛ no free just to support SOS any program. Could you believe? Nti yɛmfa Awurade yɛbɔ mpa yɛ abom yɛmɔ mpa yɛ fanka ɔno nso so bi ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛ partners ne nko a obi wɔ nso wɔ kyerɛ a ɔno nso yɛ particular things to support SOS. Senior Henry Henry me email na wɔ hɔ no amvic2122@gmail.com no me pacho wobetimi ayusu eno na wode atestame wo testame na wo show chire say wa afei na me de number na mana ya from there yetimi akasa anti we say president eti abusiafo ye de ye kasa ye program na ekwa wie okay Mr. Comet, thank you. Mr. Keke, say what me ka nyame nhyira paa ɛwɔ nso support a nso so yɛ obiara wɔ ne contribution a wɔyɛ de boɔ SOS ɛno nti na ma SOS nso yɛ SOS because ayi Dankote kan sɛ bi wɔse sɛ wotumi yɛ yie a community na ɛboa ma yɛ yie no saa go back na give to them what you have made nti sɛ SOS ɛbɛdo saa bere a ene mu ana mutie SOS na mubu ama SOS no ene dwumadi a muso mu wɔ no is up to you say bu ama SOS aso ati na ya bo hu dawru nso ama mu na muso so mu dwumadi na ya de akoso na afata nti me be se me de ye nkaebo na ye de abawie ye if we say next week your topic no ade a to me no eni say o make se na bo bibia nso so amane obi bia oni ni bia amane because next week topic no ade bia na no na yenian ba ko bi kasa fa so yesi channel for aba Ghana omo be yeshito na ebi mai so alarm because omo ba ji aduane hwe whatever it is ye world economy until say be set some policies bi no But we alone, you betima create another barriers ya. You betima prevent niyema no. Oh, nti si yɛka sɛ yɛpɛpere ho na ɔmo ba nti mu mean say we have mass. No. Obeye, but sɛ wankɔtɔ a ɛnyɛ yi. Yɛn kasa SOS fo nkɔfo yɛ hyetɔ. Nti sɛ wohia hyetɔ a, ana wonto bi mfiri SOS no hɔ. Na wo SOS ni na wɔyɛ hyetɔ no deɛ no, ɛho dɛwro. Ɛba saa na wo create awareness. Nti sɛ SOS ni yɛ hyetɔ deɛ, mɛkɔtɔ bi SOS no, mɛkɔtɔ channel ni deɛ na wɔbɛyɛ no. Because I don't trust it. Nti there's some strategy bi a yɛbɛtumi adapt, yɛbɛtumi aboa yɛ ama yɛn nso so yɛtumi akiriti yɛn economy. Moma next week na yɛnhyia nyame adom a yɛbɛkasa fa yɛbankye cassava, unlocking its importance and maximizing the value at the chain. Ɛbɛyɛ dagya, ɛbɛyɛ boy. Share my next video na yɛni nkɔmmɔ. Wa nhwɛ last video na yɛdi yɛ no, kɔmmɔ bɔde akɔhwɛ Sister Victoria video no, powerful. Business opportunities so nyame adoma yɛbɛhyia Monday for another video. Yɛgo so yɛbɛboa yɛn ho. Moma yɛnante mmom, na yɛnante bom a yɛbɛkɔ akyire. Mo aba nyame hyɛ obi biara.